guys, Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. Hope you're having a great day. I am. It's a lovely day here in my home, in my sacred space. I'm doing a video today that is a request. Lee Magic, or Lee Vincent, requested that I do a video talking about witches and jewelry. And so, Lee, I hope that this is kind of what you were thinking, because this is what I'm doing. So I kind of thought that, okay, if I'm going to do a video about witches and jewelry and like why we wear it and different things like that, I really thought about, for me, and of course this is all my experience and my journey with jewelry. I've always been a huge jewelry fan. I don't know if you've noticed that. I tend to wear some jewelry in my videos. But I've always loved jewelry. And then when I discovered that my path was taking me towards Wicca, and of course there's a lot of mysticism and jewelry and intention and things like that for jewelry in the craft. And so I began to explore different things, and so I use jewelry for a lot of different purposes. So I made a handy dandy list so that I could keep myself on task and on target. And so I realized that, wow, I wear jewelry for a lot of different purposes, and I have jewelry that I only wear for specific things and stuff like that. So I thought that I would go ahead and make a video about that, okay? So I'm going to keep myself totally organized with my list, and I'm going to show you some of my personal jewelry items, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so correspondence work. As a witch, I would think, I would have to say that correspondence work and sympathetic magic and things like that is what I use jewelry the most for in my practice as a witch. So everybody's probably familiar with what correspondence work is, but for those of you who might not know, I will kind of give you like an abridged version. So there's a Hermetic principle that tells that as above, so below, as above. And it's basically telling us that there's vibrations in things. And so when we work magic, when we do spell work, the reason that a lot of people use a green candle for money magic is because green is linked with money, with drawing money and things like that. And so as a witch, we all, as we start working spell work and becoming familiar with how spells work, we start developing our own system of correspondences. And that kind of carries through with colors, with gemstones, with herbs and things like that. So for me, as a witch, I tend to wear jewelry or specific stones for a specific purpose. Not all the time. Sometimes I just wear jewelry because I like the piece of jewelry. But there are stones that work specific magics. So for instance, I have this amethyst pendant. I hope that focuses. There we go. So for me, I use amethyst for it's always been a link to my spirituality. Even when I was growing up Christian, I've worn a lot of amethyst stone rings and jewelry, and amethyst is actually the first tumbled stone that I ever purchased. So I use that for my spirituality as well as other things. And let me preface this whole video by saying some of what I use things for, not everybody does. So kind of take that with a grain of salt. My experiences are my own, and so that's how it works. Now, I also have this moonstone ring that I purchased a few years ago at Convocation. It's a nice, beautiful guy there, or lady there. And so for me, moonstone is a lot of protection qualities. It has, as a woman, I wear a moonstone so that it helps me to stay on my 28-day cycle. There's also love properties and things like that. I also wear a malachite. This is a ring that I recently purchased. So malachite has its own, and I won't go into every correspondence, but if I'm feeling the need for a connection to my spirituality, then perhaps I'll wear my amethyst pendant. If I'm feeling kind of cruddy and want to be able to breathe a little better, then I have this diffuser necklace with the tree of life on it that I might put peppermint in, or eucalyptus, or camphor oils that will help me to feel better. I also have earrings with stones. I should also talk about the fact that even metals have their own correspondence tendencies. And so the metal silver is really connected with the goddess, whereas gold is really connected with the god. So there's different, so if you want to pull in more god energy, you could wear more gold. If you want to pull in more goddess energy, you can wear more silver. I also have this bracelet that has stones that represent the chakra colors. And this has lava stone beads. So I could also use this for diffusing oil. And so this is another a way of using correspondence work in an everyday. If I'm feeling the need to connect with my chakras, I might wear this as a means of helping to connect during the day. So that is how I use jewelry for correspondence work. Okay. Okay, so the next category is degree recognition. If you happen to be a priest or priestess within a Wiccan tradition, then you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. When a person goes through the different degree programs, and it's different, there are different systems for different traditions. I think the widest used system would be the 3-degree system, where, it's a year and a day of study for each level. Generally, some organizations might have you do a year and a day for 1 year. It might be 2 years and 2 days for a second year, and 3 years and 3 days for the third year, depending on the amount of material that they're trying to cover. As you all know, I'm a student of Christopher Penczak's, and so his mystery school is a 5-year program. And so there are various things that we go through. There's like a culmination type object that comes out of each year. But traditionally, your first year is your pentacle necklace. And so I've actually done a year with a couple of different organizations. And so I've used the same pentacle necklace for all of them. So this is my pentacle necklace. Is that, and you'll see that it's got, if it'll focus, it's got oh gosh, it's escaping me. It's got the moon cycles around the edge. Why aren't you focusing? Darn it. So anyhow, so that's my pentacle. Now, I have oftentimes used my pentacle for a pendulum for divination purposes. I, of course, wear the pentacle is my symbol of my faith, my predominant symbol for my faith. And so I wear this quite often. I used to wear my pentacle every single day, but I've kind of gotten out of the habit of that. And so, but I wear it for protection, things like that. Now, a second year, and these could be flip-flopped. So if you're studying with someone and they do it differently, that's okay. And I'm not telling you you're wrong. Don't tell me I'm wrong. This is just how it's played out. So as I said, I've studied with a couple of different traditions. And so I had a pentacle ring before I started with Christopher Penczak. So I actually wear this pentacle for 1 degree, and they're like different. I wear them differently even. So I wear this pentacle for Christopher Penczak's program. So a pentacle ring is another degree recognition. Okay. And then for your typical 3-year programs, your last year is culminated with your crown or your diadem. Now, for me, that is going to happen at the end of this 5th year. And I actually have my diadem, and you can see that there is a pentacle there. So this is a silver framework, and I've got some ribbon that's kind of woven through it, or I can choose to not use that if I don't want to. I am not wearing this yet because I am not yet completed my studies, but I've actually had this for a number of years. I saw it at a Renaissance festival, and I had to have it. So I've had it for quite some time, but I don't use it just yet. But soon, I'm so excited. So actually there's been some other significant pieces of jewelry that have come into my practice throughout this year too. And one of them is a cuff bracelet. This is another piece of jewelry that some traditions might use as a degree recognition. But for Christopher's, this is linked with the first part of this final year. We did lessons that surrounded a theme of the chakras. And so the cuff is connected with the 3rd chakra. And so that is when you were to obtain that and start wearing that. So I wear this bracelet every single day. And then the other piece that I have gained this year is actually a mala set. And so this is a mala that I purchased. And mala comes from Eastern practices, Eastern traditions. You use a mala. Mala comes in different number of beads, as little as 9 and as many as, I believe it's 108. And so you use this during meditation to repeat over, like you're not supposed to use this finger, but you repeat a mantra as you make your way in meditation and, clearing your mind and such. So I purchased this one, and this is ruby ziosite, which I really, really love. But I also made a set, and I'm pretty sure that I think I did a blog post on that. So if you're interested, I'll try to remember to link that below. But I made that out of wooden beads, and I believe it was zebra wood. A traditional mala set, if I remember correctly, they're made from, it's a seed, and I don't remember what that seed is called, but they're like a little bumpy bead that's about, it's roughly the same size as these beads here, which are, I think these are like a 10 millimeter bead, an 8 or a 10 millimeter bead. So those are all types of jewelry that are linked with degree recognition. And again, it can be different from one degree system to another. Okay. So there's that category. So the 3rd category is ritual jewelry. As you can tell, I added something new to my little accoutrements here. I've done, I believe I've done blog posts on both of these items. So I will link those blog posts. So if you want to know more information about this, then you can do so. But for ritual, early on in my practice, my coven sister and I, we had this idea that we would make necklaces that were specific for sabbats. So we took an entire year and we researched stones and colors and things like that. And we made necklaces and of course cleansed them and charged them with intention to use during Sabbats. And so that was part of the garb that we would wear for that particular ritual. And to store them, we took these pre-made wooden boxes and we made them, yeah, I'm getting a bit of a glare. We painted them so we have, you know, the elemental colors and things like that. And this is the logo for our coven, the Mystics of Realure. Hopefully you can kind of see that without too much glare. Oh, there we go. There's good. And so we also made individual bags to put them in. And since Imbolc is coming, I won't go through and show each one of these because that would take forever and this video would be ridiculous. But since Imbolc is coming, I thought that I would show you my Imbolc. So this turquoise is a color and stone that is it corresponds with Imbolc. And then this particular pendant, if I can get a good, this reminded me of a Bridget's cross. And so of course Imbolc is the time for Bridget, you know, Candlemas is another name for that particular Sabbat. So that reminded me of that. So I thought that's perfect to use for that necklace. So, yeah, so we've got all those, the cute little baggies and things like that. So, they all live in this nice little box, and they happen to live right here on this shelf that is behind or adjacent to the camera. So then the other thing that I have on is I have my ritual stole. This is another idea that my coven sister and I had. And again, I did a blog post on this, so I won't go into all of the details. But I will say that this is made from natural stone. So these are all natural stones or metals or what have you. And if you want more information on that, then I'll link it in the description box. So those are types of things that can be used for ritual, you know, where you would only wear it for that. And that can include anything like rings or anything like that too. Okay. So there's ritual category. So the next category is probably going to be kind of like the shortest one because I had the idea to include it and I don't have a whole lot of examples. So, and actually I maybe should have kind of saved my Sabbat necklaces for this particular category, but that's okay. So this category deals with specific jewelry for a particular Sabbat. And like I said, I've only got like really one example, but I figured I'd go ahead and include it because just because I only have one example doesn't mean that other folks don't have others. So if you have something that you want to share about this, then let me know. So, for our Beltane celebration with my coven, we do some ritualized dancing that helps us to kind of call spring and call that, or maybe it's Ostara. I don't remember exactly which one. It's either Beltane or Ostara. And so we wear jingle, little jingle anklets that will jingle around as we dance around the circle and such. And so here is mine that I wear, and this has malachite chips. And so this is a fun thing to wear. And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, just because I'm saying that I use this for one thing doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only time I wear it, because I could totally wear this during the summertime too with my shorts, you know, at the beach or whatever. So there's that. So Sabbat necklaces or Sabbat specific jewelry. And this might include, like, maybe you've got a skull pendant that you only wear at Samhain or something like that. It could be anything like that. And of course, like I also said, my Sabbat necklaces could kind of go in this category too, because I have one for each Sabbat. So there's that one. So here we are to the 5th fifth category in my little jewelry lineup. And this one is kind of fun for me specifically because I do make my own jewelry. And so this is kind of a fun thing that that I was able to kind of play around with too. And this is jewelry that you specifically make for your patron god or goddess or any kind of deity. And so, like I said, this is something, like I said earlier, there are specific correspondence stones for a lot of things like an intention or a SABBAT. Well, a lot of gods and goddesses have stones that are sacred to them as well. And so I've been lucky enough to find sacred stones that that work with the two deities that I work with. And so I actually made one of these necklaces. Another one of my coven sisters made for me as a gift. And then the third one is one that I purchased just because I haven't had a chance to make anything else. So let's see. So as you know, I work with Bridget. She is my patron goddess from the Celtic pantheon. And so Bridget, stones that are sacred to her are angelite and sodalite / lapis lazuli. You can kind of interchange and use either one as I've come to know. If you know something different, then that's cool, but I use either or. So I made this necklace. So I had this tri-skull pendant that I thought was kind of spiffy, and I had these angelite, oh, please focus. I have these angelite and sodalite beads that I interchanged with some really neat, it's really not focusing for me, that I interchanged with some really neat triangle knotwork. Let me see if I'm still playing around with this guy. Oh, that's better. Okay, so you can see the triangle things there. I just gotta find my new system, you know, new camera, all that fun stuff. Ooh. So anyhow, so this is the one that I made for myself. And then Cornflower Wolf made this necklace for me. And this is made with amethyst, purple. Pretty good guess there. So we've got some really pretty chunky amethyst stones. And then she purchased, let's see, is it gonna flip the right way? She bought this beautiful Bridget pendant. Now, hopefully that's laying. Yes, it is. Yay. So it's showing Bridget in her triple aspect there. And I love this necklace. I was so shocked when I opened it. And of course, as I said before, I wear a lot of amethyst. And so she really knew a perfect gift to make for me. So I thank her so much for that. And then for Odin Father, red jasper is sacred to him. And so I happened to come across this pendant in red jasper. And there's some pretty glitzy bling around it that I'm sure is just like a paste or whatever. But this is a really pretty piece of red jasper that I have, that it's done in like a gunmetal-y gray, dark metal. And so I've got a matching dark chain. And so this is the newest necklace that I have. And so I kind of wear that and think about him and stuff. Or if I'm looking for his guidance or her guidance, you know, I'll wear either one of those. So those are some examples of a deity specific jewelry. And you could do something like that with earrings or a necklace or anything like that. So there's that one. All right, so this last category is called organization jewelry. And that kind of comes into play for if you're lucky enough, you might come to belong to an organization that has their own jewelry or whatever. So as a coven, I'll kind of share with you something that I wear that is specific to our coven. It's not exclusive to our coven or anything like that. But at Convocation a few years ago, a few of us saw this really neat charm, and it was in the vendor room, and all of us really liked it, and we were looking for something that was a piece of jewelry that we could all wear that kind of maybe not set us aside as our coven, but it was definitely something that that was ours. Okay. And so we bought them, and we bought, I think we might have bought all of them that these folks have. Excuse me. And so this is actually a gift that goes to a coven member when they get initiated into our coven. So this is the pendant, a beautiful tree of life, and while it looks silver, it isn't actually silver. This is a white brass, and so it's been stamped in some way. Let me see if I can get this to come into clearer focus. There you go. And so one of our members actually made for us a wall hanging, and she took this pendant. That's what the back of it looks like. It you can tell that it looks like it's smashed or whatever. She used this pendant and actually like projected it up on the wall and made that shape and put it on this wall hanging that she quilted for us. It's gorgeous. So this, there's two different sizes. This is a bigger one. So this one's probably about 1.5 inches in diameter. And then there's another size that's about 1 inch in diameter. So that is something that's specific to our coven. And then I have another piece that I wear that it's actually on the same chain as my pentacle, and that is my Temple of Witchcraft symbol. And excuse me because it kind of looks grody, but I tried polishing it and it's not. This is made from pewter. So this is the Temple of Witchcraft symbol. There we go. It's focusing. And these are really neat because you flip it over and it's a pentacle. Isn't that neat? So this was very special. I really wanted something that showed Temple of Witchcraft pride kind of thing. And so I was really excited when Christopher released that. And so I wear that with my, it's like a double pentacle protection whammy with the Temple of Witchcraft stuff on it. So there you have it. There's kind of all the categories and the different kinds of different ways in which witches work with jewelry and things like that. So I hope that this was interesting, and I hope it's not super long. I tried to keep things kind of concise and to the point. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about how I work with jewelry or use jewelry in my practice, feel free to ask a question below. And I really want to know, like, is there anyone out there that uses jewelry for a different purpose? I think I would love to hear how y'all use jewelry different than I do, because I'm always open to new ideas. So if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Gotta love that. And discussion below, or if you want to email me, do so at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com. And don't forget to check out the Instagram. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.